first want to thank everyone for coming to hear my story, how I survived. I want to thank the hospital for taking such good care of me. For me and my family, they've been here. And anything we wanted or needed, they've been able to provide that. I want to give a special shout out to my pastor for driving down from Indianapolis to be with us. And for all the families and all the people and all the vigils that I've heard about. I haven't seen them, but I heard about them. Keep us in prayer. We're going to need it. Thank you all.
Tia will take a few questions.
First, we have NBC Nightly News.
Hi, Tia. First of all, I was hard about this. Can you tell us about how your husband?
He's a very strong young man. I won't be answering a lot of questions about him. I want to keep him protected. I just want you to know we love him. And anything that anybody, can do is to definitely keep him in prayer. He's going through a lot right now. And he's holding up just fine.
How do you begin to recover?
That's a hard question. I've never had to recover from something like this. I don't know if there is a recovery from it. The biggest thing is a lot of prayer. A lot of prayer, a lot of support. That's all I know. I don't know how to begin. It's only the beginning, so I don't know.
WTHR-TV.
Yeah, Tia, can you talk about right now the support system you have and your faith is helping get you through this?
Absolutely. First of all, I've been raised what I call the right way. I've been raised in apostolic church my whole life. I also have a ton of family praying for me, being behind me. As soon as they found out, they left in the middle of the night to come down. My pastor has even come down. I've had my friends come down here to support me. And this isn't all the family. This is just some of the family that you see here. I've had tons of family members and friends sending requests and asking how I'm doing and supporting. So that's the only way I'm getting through this is through God and through a lot of people here in the city. I've had pastors from the city come and they've prayed for me and said they'll keep me in their thoughts and prayers. It's the best way I'm getting through it.
And what about going home?
Going home, I already know it's going to be completely difficult. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Since I've had a home, it's always been filled. It's always been filled with little feet and laughter. And my husband, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I just know that I'll continue to need the support of my family, my friends, and even my extended family and friends I haven't met. I'll need that.
Springfield News Leader.
Yeah, you said that you wanted to share how you were able to survive. How were you able to survive?
I've always loved water. I don't know if it's a Pisces or what. I always loved water. But when that water came over the boat, I didn't know what happened. I had my son right next to me. But when the water filled up the boat, I could no longer see. I couldn't feel anybody. I couldn't see. I just remember, I got to get out. I got to get out. And I don't know if somebody pushed me or what happened, but I hit my head on the part of the boat. And when I got out into the water, it was ice cold. And I remember as we were going into the water, they said that the lake stays pretty warm, like in the 80s. So I knew for it being so cold that I'm close to the bottom. I'm not close to the top. And I just remember kicking and swimming up to the top. And as I was swimming up, I was praying. I said, Lord, please let me get to my babies. I got to get to my babies. I got to get to my babies. And I was kicking, and the harder I fought to get up to the top, I was getting pulled down. And I kept fighting and I kept fighting. And then I said, Lord, if I can't make it, there's no use in keeping me here. And so I just let go and I started floating. And as I started floating, I felt the water temperature change. And it got warmer. And as it got warmer, I knew I was to the top. So I stuck my hand out and I kept swallowing tons of water. The waves were crashing over my face. And every time I get my head a little bit above water, I scream, help, help. And finally I came up to the surface and I saw, it was a great big boat out, like a river boat. And they were, oh my God, they were jumping in and saving people. They were throwing life rafts out to everybody. But I couldn't reach it. I couldn't get there in time. And so somehow I managed to get to the boat. These beautiful people, angels, I don't know who they were. They pulled me up. And when they pulled me up from the boat, I didn't see any of my family. But I believe I survived by God and by Good Samaritans.
Kansas City Star.
Right, Garcia. I'm so sorry going through this. I have some simple questions but I'm asking because I don't want to have to anybody else what you're going through. So my first question is, did the captain say anything about life jackets, and if he did, what did he say?
The captain did say something about life jackets. He said, above you are your life jackets. There's 3 sizes. He said, I'm going to show you where they are, but you won't need them. So no need to worry. So we didn't grab them.
About when did he say?
I really don't know. I'm kind of in and out remembering minute facts, but it was said that that there are life jackets, but don't worry, you will not need them. And we were never told after that to grab them.
And we've heard from a couple other survivors that you can't be coming over your head and they have come on, and that's how some or you get to the surface. Do you have any memory of what happened with that can't above your head?
I have no idea. I just know when the water, I was sitting close to the front, so when the water came up over me, I immediately floated up, but I hit my head on something, so that's all I know about that.
And the last thing I wanted to ask is if the plastic curtains that were around the side of the boat, they prevent you from getting out those windows.
I have no idea. Again, I can't answer that. I don't know how I got out. I couldn't see anything, so
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Your wife, Rudy.
Tia, in the chaos of the situation, how soon did you realize how tragic this situation was?
It took me maybe a minute to realize. It took me a minute before the boat went under, because the water was splashing. It was so hot. We thought this was just great, the water splashing. But when a big swell came in, that's when I got nervous. And then the next big swell is what I didn't know the boat capsized. I thought it went under. So when that next big swell came in, I did go under. So I don't know how long that was.
Associated Press.
Hi, Tia. Hi, thank you so much for doing this. I just want to ask you a little bit about the weather before you went out. Did the crew say anything about, I heard that the crew said they would do the water first because they were afraid that it was going to get. Can you just talk a little bit about that? And then
Sure. They, before we left out, they just said, it's a storm coming, so go to the water first so you can avoid it.
so they did say something. Did the sky look cloudy? Was it noticeably?
Not right then, it didn't.
No.
Nope. Even when we first hit the water, it didn't look cloudy.
Did anybody say we should turn back, we shouldn't go out? Did anybody express any nervousness or?
No,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
CNN.
Hi, Tia.
Hello.
I'm so sorry everything goes out here. I was wondering, you said you were sitting in the front of the boat. If you could give me an idea from your vantage point of what the greatest obstacle yourself and everybody else on the boat was facing in terms of being able to exit safely. Was it the water rushing in and pressing against the windows? Was it life jackets not being distributed? Was there one thing that stood out to you?
The biggest thing that stood out to me is no matter what, I felt like if I was able to get a life jacket, I could have saved my babies. Because they could have at least floated up to the top and somebody could have grabbed them. And I wasn't able to do that. I can't say what the restriction was because when I went up, I thought I hit the ceiling and I thought I was dead because I didn't know how to get out from. I'm great with directions, but in water I'm not. I don't know which way I'm facing. So when I went up, I didn't know if I was in the ceiling or I figured I was in the ceiling because I wasn't moving, and then something just kept pushing me. I kept floating up, and so I don't know if I was coming through a window or if somebody did remove the roof. I have no idea.
Tia, thank you for taking the time to do this, and I know it is difficult. We talked to the owner of the company. There's other boating companies around. Do you think duck boat companies should take their boats back on the water?
That's something I'm just not at liberty to say. I have no idea.
Based on what you and your family do?
Based on what me and my family went through, I never want to be on any boat ever again in my life. Anybody's boat.
And one last follow-up. You can tell us, we're hearing stuff about your family. How do you want them to be remembered? This was supposed to be a part of the family.
I want them to be remembered how they were. I lost 9 people. I lost my husband, he would have killed a rock over anybody, over my family. He was so loving. And he didn't look like he was, but he was so loving. To remember my babies. My oldest son was Reese, who was on the autism spectrum, but he made every day worth living and knowing. And he was the happiest, sweetest little boy anybody would ever want to meet. I love everybody remember my Evan, who was 7, who was extremely smart and quick and witty. He loved life. And he was a great brother, a big brother and a little brother. And then my baby Aria, she was only 1, and she had 1,000 personalities wrapped up in her one. She would blow kisses and she would fight. She was a little fireball and my only girl. And then to remember my Uncle Ray, he was the oldest of the Comans. He liked to laugh and have a good time. My father-in-law, who had a heart of gold, he would give anything for anybody. My mother-in-law, who was like a second mom. I never knew I would marry into such great people. I never knew it. She was always there with a supportive word. My sister-in-law, who I call my sister because she was so loving. And she'd do anything for her family. For my nephew, Max. The sweetest baby ever. He loved big hugs and warm kisses. So I would ask everybody to remember my family as the beautiful people they were.